Apple just released a new iPhone and a new Apple Watch. Here's everything relevant you need to know in just 1 minute. The new Apple Watch Series 9 was released with a much faster processor. It's very similar to the old model with a few new features like being able to tap watches together to share contact information. There's a new double tap feature where if you pinch your fingers together like this, it could trigger an action on the watch. This is going to be used for things like answering calls, playing, pausing music, or silencing alarms. The new chip also lets you use Find My on the watch like you have on your iPhone to find AirTags. It's going to be able to detect if it's near an Apple HomePod and pop up this interface so you can play or change the music playing on it. Siri requests are now going to be processed on the watch or posted on your phone, so it's going to be much more responsive. And lastly, pretty much all Apple Watches produced are now carbon neutral. This is really dope. Now we got the new iPhones, the 15 and the 15 Pro. Biggest thing by far is all iPhones now have USB-C. This is huge. Hell yeah, RIP Lightning. Mine's pretty much the same, but the edges are curved. The regular iPhones now have the island built into them opposed to the notch. This isn't just a Pro feature anymore. The camera's also a little bit better, and then there's also noise canceling on phone calls. This is kind of cool. The iPhone Pro has all the same features, except it's going to be made out of titanium. Some serious metal. Cameras on this thing are absolutely insane, and there's going to be a 5x optical zoom. They're able to do this by having a bunch of prisms to emulate a long lens. Similar to the watch, they improved the Find My feature. You can now use it to find your friends if they're sharing a location. This is kind of useful. One of the big changes on the Pro is they replaced the silence toggle with this button. The button can still be used to silence the phone, but it'll also be mapped to do pretty much anything else you want. This is going to be really useful to have an extra hardware button. And once again, it's also faster, but like way faster, like challenging some high-end desktops faster. And the last really cool thing on the Pro is you can now record videos and photos to an external hard drive directly. You don't even need to plug in your computer. And last little bonus thing, they're releasing new iCloud storage tiers. This comes along with all the new photo and video features that are going to take up a lot of storage. That's the Apple event in just 1 minute. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you in the next video. This is why I don't use Home Assistant as a huge smart home nerd. So for those who don't know, I exclusively use Apple HomeKit to run my smart home now, but I have used Home Assistant extensively in the past, and I still do dabble in it sometimes for certain projects. Now I switched over because I'm what I've coined myself a smart home purist. Now what I mean by this is I actually actively use my smart home all the time. It's part of my everyday life, and I use it to make my life easier. Now I do like to tinker around with it and build cool things, but the bulk of my smart home use is in my day-to-day with the simple stuff, the automations, the lights, all of that stuff. Now my problem with Home Assistant is the added layer of complexity that gets added to your smart home when you use it. And for those who don't know what Home Assistant is, it's an open source smart home software that most people run on a Raspberry Pi like this one. Once you're running it, it basically acts as a hub for your smart home. All of your devices connect to it. You could then do a bunch of crazy automations, doing a bunch of custom coding, and pretty much create any device you want. This thing is so powerful. Now that functionality is incredible, and I use it from time to time when I'm setting up new devices and trying to push the limit of what a smart home can do for fun. But all of that power and complexity comes at two major costs that I just wasn't willing to bargain with. The first one is it's complex. Because it's so powerful, it's not really intuitive to navigate, especially if you're doing some really crazy stuff. It's not as simple as drag and drop, especially if I wanted to show my girlfriend how to set something up, for example, or if she wanted to add a new device. And the second one is it's not natively integrated to how you interact with the home. So one of my favorite things about Apple HomeKit, for example, is the smart home software is running natively on the HomePod where I'm inputting my voice commands and the phone where I'm actually controlling the devices. Now, Home Assistant does have integrations to connect to HomeKit and connect to your HomePods, but the problem is it's then going from HomeKit, then to Home Assistant, then being output into your smart home. This not only adds a point of failure to your system, but it also makes it harder to interact with. If there's an automation that you have set up in Home Assistant and you're controlling it in HomeKit, you have to jump between apps to make everything work, and it's just a bad user experience. Because I have everything in Apple HomeKit, no matter what I want to do, whether add a new device, change or set up an automation, turn a device on and off, I know I can do all of that in one central place. All the troubleshooting will be done from one spot. All of the inputs will be done from one single place. This is a big deal for me as somebody who wants to use it every day without thinking, but also for my girlfriend who lives with me and likes the smart home stuff, but she couldn't care less about what Home Assistant is. She just wants to be able to go in, tap the button, and make it work. And I think that's a crucial part of smart home. And on top of that, I want to create solutions that work for other people that are easy to integrate. Again, the Home Assistant stuff is super fun and it pushes the limits for sure, but as far as something that's actually usable for your day-to-day and part of your life and saving you time, the simpler the better, and you can achieve that with HomeKit. Now that being said, I do run another piece of software alongside HomeKit called Homebridge. Now Homebridge does also run on a Raspberry Pi like Home Assistant, but the big difference is Homebridge is strictly there to convert non-HomeKit devices to HomeKit. You don't set up any automations, you don't do anything in the Homebridge platform itself. I very rarely interact with it. All it does is bring that device into HomeKit natively, so you could then manage your automations, control it as you need from the native HomeKit app. Anyway, that was a very long ramble, but I did want to get this video out because I do get that question a lot. The short of it is I absolutely love Home Assistant, but when I'm actually using my smart home, boots on the ground, using it in my day-to-day life, the level of simplicity that has everything centralized under one platform to control, automate everything is really unmatched. Maybe Home Assistant can get there one day, but honestly, right there, it's not that smooth of an experience. If you have any questions or if you got beef with my opinion, let me know in the comments there. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you in the next video.